Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today we are going to be playing with some eggs. We are going to be making an egg flight. Flight meaning a panoply, a selection, little bites using eggs. When I think of flights, I usually think of a drinking flight, a beer flight, a whiskey flight, where you have a selection of different whiskeys, different items. In this case, it'll be different flavored eggs, all spread out, usually on a nice little tray in a line, and you get to sample each little one. And this is inspired by Alice Choi. You can find her on social media under Hip Foodie Mom 1, I believe. She's great, all kinds of wonderful inspiration, great recipes, including the egg flight, which I've read was inspired by a quick way to make deviled eggs, a nice high protein snack. You can just take hard boiled eggs and then you can zhuzh them up in all different kinds of ways to make them tasty and delicious. But an egg flight is speedier and customizable, which is great because maybe you're not feeling deviled egg flavors that day. You can change it up for something else, whatever you feel like. And you know, for me, it kind of depends on the day. Some days I'm feeling more this, some days I'm feeling more this. And so I like the fact that I can adjust and I don't get bored with flavors, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're gonna need are some hard-boiled eggs. I have shared my technique with you in the past, but I will share it again because it's worth knowing how to boil hard-boiled eggs. It sounds really simple, but it can be complicated, but it doesn't need to be. So what I like to do is bring a pot of water to the boil. And then once it's boiling, I turn down the heat a little bit so it's not just, you know what I mean? And then I add my eggs. I typically boil my eggs for 9.5 minutes because I like a little bit of a gel in the middle of my yolks. But if you want a fully hard cook egg, I would say 10 to 13 minutes. If you want it completely dry and no jelly in the middle. After your timer has gone off, turn off your heat, take your eggs to the sink, drain the boiling water off, and then add cold water on top. If you'd like, you can put some ice cubes in there and it'll cool it down even faster. And the reasoning for this is that keeps your egg yolks nice and bright yellow and orange. If you let them sit in the heat, you'll get that kind of greenish gray sulfur ring around your yolk. So you need to cool them down quickly so you can avoid that greenish color. And then at this point you can eat them or you can place them in your refrigerator and you can narf on them all week long. I often do that for my kids so they can have a hard-boiled egg in the morning if they feel like that for breakfast, because my kids are making their own breakfast these days. I just love it. It gives the kids a sense of responsibility and it teaches them how to cook. And it also gets them in tune to what they are feeling like in the morning. But the number one thing I love is that sense of responsibility and capability, right? Let's start them off young so they can start cooking for themselves. Like, yes. Alrighty, we got a little sidetrack from hard-boiled eggs. So now you know how to hard-boil the eggs. Now the other reason why I like this method of hard-boiling eggs is that it makes them very easy to peel. Because we're putting the cold eggs into hot water, the proteins contract very quickly and they pull away from the shell inside, making it very easy to peel them. Alrighty, enough jibber jabber and explanation. Let's go ahead and make our egg flight. So first thing we're gonna need. So I basically emptied my refrigerator so that we can try different flavors. And that's another reason why I like this recipe already, is because you can use condiments and items that you have in your refrigerator already. And that can be your inspiration. Love that. So I cut my egg in half. Beautiful. So this was a 9-minute and 30-second egg. So you can see it's a little bit jellied in the middle. That's how I like my hard-boiled eggs. I don't like them too dry. But if you like them cooked longer, then by all means, cook them longer. So I'm gonna put that like that. Oh, it's so beautiful. So good. All right, place them onto my plate. Egg number 2. So already arranged like this, they look so beautiful. So as I said earlier, I just cleaned out my refrigerator of all the things that I have, some leftovers, some bits in my crisper drawer. I'm super excited to make my egg flight. So Alice recommends starting with a creamy base for the egg flight. For her, that's often Kewpie mayo, which I adore. It's delicious and tasty, and it comes with this really great dispenser little top. And when you're dispensing a lot, when you unscrew it, you get this beautiful little star tip, which is great. But most of the time, I use this tip. So let's make the deviled egg inspired egg flight with some mayo and a dab of Dijon mustard. I usually get the mustard that comes in a jar. I like mayo and I also like Grey Poupon, but I actually got this instead because it could fit in my refrigerator door and it has a handy dandy squeeze top. Right, let's test it and see if I like it. Yeah, it's coming out very nicely. One little dollop mustard. And then just to make it look nice, oh, some chives would be nice, but I don't have any chives, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of parsley on top. Oh, look how cute. Oh my gosh, cute. So that is the original OG deviled egg inspired one. Oh, a little bit of pepper. A little bit of cracked pepper on that one. Yes. Next, let's do a lox bagel inspired one because I have some cream cheese and some smoked salmon here. I usually have that. My kids love to bring that to school. So once again, starting with our creamy base, we're going to start with some whipped cream cheese right on top. Very nice. And then a little bit of smoked salmon folded right on top. Boom. So Alice also recommends having something a little bit tangy. So you've got a creamy base and then something tangy to kind of brighten things. So I'm going to add some capers, juniper berries. If you don't like capers, totally okay. You could add pickled onions or whatever kind of pickly thing you might like. Right? So a couple capers. Boom. Boom. And then a little bit of dill would be really nice. Just boop, right on top. But I don't have any dill, so let's go with some everything bagel seasoning. Right? Boom. On top of that. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, next let's do a BLT inspired one. Bacon, lettuce, tomato. Don't have any lettuce, but I do have some bacon. And I do have a homegrown tomato. So again, we're gonna have a little creamy base, which is gonna be our mayo. I always put mayo on my BLTs, so perfect. Mayo, a little bit of Italian parsley for color. If I had lettuce, I would put lettuce on top. I'm out. Put a couple pieces of bacon. Oh my goodness, yes. And then tomato. Tomato always needs a little bit of salt. And pepper, because pepper. Lastly, because we had tacos for dinner last night, let's do a little taco inspired one. I'm going to use a little mayo. I'm going to use a little bit of taco seasoned ground turkey, because that's what I had in my fridge. Boom. Ooh, got some pickled peppers. Ooh, maybe I'll do pickled peppers and pickled onions. Okay. I love pickled red onion. Alice does too. It is so good. It's such a great condiment. It's so versatile. I'm gonna put some of that on my bagel inspired one because I love red onion on my bagel. It's so pretty. Look at this color. It's just electric. Hot pink. It's so beautiful, briny, tasty. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that to my taco one. Ooh, make sure you get some of that brine on there. It's so good. This is just apple cider vinegar, a little sugar. You can put garlic in there if you like, a little pepper. But basic one is just apple cider vinegar and a little sugar. Really good. Really brightens things up. Okay, that, and then I'm gonna add some salsa, homemade salsa, on top of that. Boom. And because I like even more heat, add some pickled peppers. This too is super easy to make. If you have lots of peppers coming in like we do, this is a very quick pickled pepper. All you have to do is chop up your peppers. And again, apple cider vinegar, a little bit of sugar if you like. I love some crushed garlic. Let that sit in there and you got pickled peppers on the ready. Just store these in the fridge, put them on anything. It just brightens everything. Love. Okay, and then on this one for greenery, I'm going to add just a little leaf of cilantro. Kind of poke it in there so it looks like a little wing. Oh, these make great little apps. Oh my God, so cute. These are so cute, little apps. Appetizers for your lunch. So beautiful. Look at that. So fancy. All right, I'm gonna take a quick picture and then we're gonna taste these. All righty, my lovelies, here is my beautiful flight of eggs. Aren't they gorgeous? This is just 2 hard-boiled eggs, but that could be at some like fancy restaurant or something. Little apps. So good, so beautiful. Got my napkin prepared. Now here is what I'm gonna call the OG. This is a take on the original deviled egg with a little bit of mustard, pepper, mayo, and just a little bit of greenery on top just for garnish. Alrighty, let's give this a taste. Fan-stinking-tastic. Creamy, salty, tangy, briny. Fantastic. So the next one I'm going to try is the taco-inspired one. So we've got some salsa, pickled pepper, a little bit of seasoned ground turkey, cilantro, and just a little bit of mayo beneath it all to kind of glue it all together and give it some creaminess. Alrighty, let's try this one in one bite. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Wow, that was a good one too. I think I like that one more than the OG. It has more tang to it, nice and salty, vibrant with the little bit of chili in there. But that injection of that pickliness really complements the creamy richness of the egg yolk. So good. I could eat 4 of those ones easily. Really love that punch of vinegar in there. Totally agree with you, Alice. I think vinegar is the way to go. Next, we have the BLT inspired one. We have bacon, a little tomato, mayo, and some parsley. It could be lettuce, but I didn't have any on hand. Alrighty, do it all in one bite, but be aware it's gonna be a big bite. Here we go. Wow. Gosh, I love bacon. Oh. That one was outstanding. I used 3 small pieces of bacon and a little bit of tomato in there, which I think are best friends. Tomato and bacon, best friends. And the acidity of the tomato, even though that was a cherry tomato, which is a little bit sweet, goes so well with bacon, which is smoky, crispy, meaty, crunchy, porky, fan-stinkin-tastic. The smokiness goes so well with the egg. The sulfur flavors of the egg yolk, creaminess of the little pool of mayo that I put on there, so good, so good. I keep eating them. I think that one's better than the next. That one I think might be a little bit better than the taco one, although it's so good. Alrighty, lastly we're gonna have the lox bagel inspired one. Look how beautiful that one is with the pickled red onion, capers, smoked lox, and cream cheese. Alrighty, here we go. That one's good too. Cream cheese and hard-boiled eggs? Who knew that would be such a great combination? I mean, a very logical combination. Oh. But again, what does it for me are the bright, briny notes, both from the pickled red onion and from the capers. The capers are salty and they kind of burst in your mouth, which is great to go with that creaminess of the cream cheese. Really good. Then you have the smoked salmon in there, the lox. Fantastic. Just a little bit for that flavor. Excellent. I think on that one, I would add even more pickled onion to kind of balance out the cream cheese. The cream cheese is pretty rich, and then you have the egg yolk in there as well. Also, these eggs are a little bit big for me for one bite. I think if I were to make this again, I would try quail eggs That would make it a little bit more finicky because you'd have to boil more and then you'd have to peel more, but I feel like that would be better for my size mouth for a one bite kind of situation. Or maybe just cut these in half and they just won't be as pretty. Not sure, but I am a fan, 100% fan of the egg flight concept. We'll use this for lunches and for snacks. I think it's ingenious. I think my kids would really enjoy it too because they can make their own. Whatever you're feeling like, kids, season them up however you like. And it's fun to have them displayed like this. I think it would be fun to have as a little tasting party. Maybe you're having friends over, little hors d'oeuvres, potluck. You can have a whole bunch of different ones and people can taste them and see which one is their favorite. Genius. In some respects, I'm not at all surprised because eggs are ingenious in themselves. And so anything you do with them just automatically becomes genius because eggs are inherently genius. Alrighty. Great job, Alice. Love it. Alrighty, my lovelies. There you have it. Emmy tested, sampled egg flight, totally approved this message, and we'll make it again for sure. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. I want more. Must boil more eggs. So delicious.